What's going on YouTube? CloverBells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be spotlighting the infamous Maushold Annihilape combo, also known as Mouseape. Mainly because, again, it's another type of duo that looks to be prominent yet again in a regulation where there's no more restricted. A lot of the Paradox Pokemon are gone. And, you know, we need a good fighting type for our Keladin, right? So Annihilape looks also very strong here, especially in a format where there's tons of Incineroar. Yeah, Defiant looking really good along with that fighting typing, so that's a plus already for Annihilape. There's no more Flutter Mane, right? So that's good. So that's out the window. That was a big threat to Annihilape back then. And then now you add the fact that you have a Maushold with Friend Guard here that can do all kinds of things with, you know, with stuff like Population Bomb, for example. Remember this move, Population Bomb, and how much this thing used to just one-shot a lot of different stuff just because of the chip damage it could do. It can one-shot a lot of different things depending on their EV investment, right? But of course, follow me with the setup with, you know, Annihilape here with Bulk Up. Was very good with the Protect set and Leftovers, and then the two signature moves of Drain Punch and Rage Fist was a very standard Maushold set, Maushold Annihilape set back in the prior regulations, right? And it just won a big tournament, okay? And we're going to take a look at those teams in a second, okay? Because not only did it win, but it also had some good placements elsewhere, right? So we'll take a look at those cores. But something like this, you know, is pretty standard. And you can actually vary up the set here. Sometimes you might go Friend Guard. Sometimes you might go Technician with Wide Lens. You know, it really just depends on how you want to do it, okay? Because again, Technician will boost the power Population Bomb, whereas Friend Guard, you can still have Population Bomb, but at the end of the day, you know, it'll still make you do less damage. But again, you get to have protection for the rest of the team because you have Friend Guard, which is, again, a broken ability. Thanks to, you know, just think about what Clefairy used to do with Friend Guard next to a Calyrex, right? Great for setup. Okay, so these two, what you can also do is basically slap them onto standard 4-man teams, and it can do well, right? You don't have to necessarily build around Maushold Annihilape. You can just take them and slap them onto already proven cores, and that can round out the rest of your team. So I'll give you an example. So remember the old core of Garchomp, okay, Hydreigon. That's not how you spell Hydreigon. Hydreigon here, okay, the double Dragon core, and then you have Goldango, okay, and then you slap on a Tailwind setter for Goldango, something like Murkrow, right? And this worked, okay? So something like this was very, very good back in Regulation A. I think Marcus Statler did this back in like the Stuttgart side event back in December 2022. So this can still work, right? And we've seen a little bit more Garchomp and Hydreigon play in some of these tournaments already, which again just proves that a lot more things are viable now that a lot of the restricteds and the paradoxes are gone. But this is a very easy core to build around, right? You can also take it a different direction, okay? And you can even do stuff like Dondozo, Tatsugiri, right? And just slapped on these guys, right? Where's the Tatsugiri, right? So here's another format core, 2-2-2 format. You can even play like that, where you have pairs with each other. So Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Maushold Annihilape, and then you can actually just slap on something like a Talonflame and then put back Goldango here. And this is another Maushold team, right? So you can even do it like this, okay? If you want to, you know, follow that kind of template. But if you don't like Dondozo that much, then you don't have to play it that way. But you can if you really want to, because it just makes it a little bit easy. You could even do like Indeedee, the old Indeedee Armrouge stuff, right? You can even do it like this. Now, you might say, why would I use Armrouge when I can use Hattering? You can. The difference is Armrouge still gets Wide Guard, and in a format where, you know, Side Spam looks to be good yet again, maybe Wide Guard is a little bit more preferred, especially when you're going against Blood Moon or Ursaluna stuff with Hyper Voice. So you can even consider that. And then after that, you can just round it out with stuff like Ursaluna, Amoonguss, or just pick two other stuff that you can slap onto these guys. But this is also very, very strong in essence, right? But you can even do like the Pelipper, you know, Palafin core, right? So you can even do like this. So Pelipper, Palafin, right? This is another kind of combination. And then you can do, what's another? A grass type. You could even do something like Rillaboom here. And then give me another, you know, fire type or whatnot, or some other filler slot in this. You can even put Arkeladin in here for that matter, right? So that also works too. So you can even just do like this old Palafin core and it'll still work just fine, right? So in lots of different cases to use Maushold Annihilape, right? And sometimes you don't even need both. Sometimes you just need one or the other. But the fact that you can use them both together, again, you have to play this kind of guessing game a little bit, right? So sometimes they might not even go for the moves that you think. They may you might lose a 50-50, right? So what do I mean? So sometimes instead of setting up, just follow me, bulk up, they might even just do, just super fang chip damage, depending on their set, or they may just be aggressive altogether with the Annihilape, not even consider clicking bulk up, but going for, it's hard hitting moves, right? And sometimes you don't even need this set, right? Sometimes you can even do the Choice Scar Final Gambit Close Combat set. So let me just show you that one. So you could just do this, right? Final Gambit, Close Combat, all right, and then your 2 other filler slots, right? Usually it's always these 2 that are being clicked, but you have 2 other moves that you can also click at the same time. So this is like Shadow Claw here, and then this is some other filler slot that I can't remember off the top of my head, right? So it all depends on the set that you want to do. You don't have to necessarily do the bulk up, Drain Punch, Rage Fist set, although that is still pretty good. Maushold, along with Beat Up, can do that. So that's the other guessing game, right? They may go for Beat Up, they may go for Population Bot, they may go for Follow Me. It really just depends on the opponent and how their playstyle is and how they want to use it. And that's what makes Maushold Annihilape so annoying, is you have to play the 50-50 game a little bit sometimes, and it's just not so fun depending on you if you're not able to properly read the matchup in the situation at play. All right, so anyway, I'm going to take away these sets for a second, okay? And what we're going to do now is take a look at some of these tournament teams that have had success thus far in the early goings of regulation H. So let's take a look. All right, so let's look on the Limitless page. And again, if you're interested in getting some practice for regulation H, feel free to join these online tournaments. They have a lot of turnout right now. For example, this NinoPokeBros tournament that just happened the other night, actually yesterday, it looked almost 150 people were playing in this tournament. So that's a very, very good sample size. That means you're going to get good, valuable practice early on. So this way you can make adjustments accordingly and adjust your team building depending on how you see fit. But in the winning team, again, we see Maushold Annihilape, and also in the 2nd place winning team. And not just that, also in the 5th place team is also Maushold Annihilape. So, of the top 5, 3 were Maushold Annihilape course. So let's take a look. So here's Funny Monkey, right? I've seen this player before. Look at this, Maushold Annihilape. So this set is Focus Sash Maushold, all right, with Taunt and Beat Up, no Population Bomb, that's okay. Then you have Annihilape here, all right, Safety Goggles Annihilape. So this way you can ignore Mungus shenanigans, right? Then you can do Rage Fist, Drain Punch, Bulk Up, Protect. So that's a pretty standard Annihilape setup set. So sometimes you might see leftovers here, but in this case, they're opting for Safety Goggles. They don't like a Mungus, understandable, right? And here's the Beat Up set. So, you can make Rage Fist do more damage. So that's annoying. And then at the same time, also Taunt. Taunt is great on Maushold because Maushold has pretty good speed. So if you have a fast Taunt, that's also going to be very, very useful, right? And then look at this, Goldengo Core with Talonflame. I like that a lot. That's my favorite way to build Maushold. Just slap on a Tailwind setter with Goldengo. I think Goldengo even right now looks really good in the format. Considering stuff like Flutter Mane and, Chen Power out of the picture. So Goldengo looks really good coming into this. And then you have a grass type here. I like Rillaboom, of course. Who doesn't like Rillaboom, right? Fake Out user to set up Drain Punch. Bulk Up. You can also set up Nasty Plot here. So I like this a lot. And then you have a nice little Firewater Grass core here going with Primarina. I do like Primarina in this format. I think it's really good right now, better than it once was in other formats. So consider that, especially now that Flutter Mane's gone, you need a good, strong fairy type. Primarina fits that description. So does Sylveon, might I add. And this is a smart way to build Primarina. It's got Haze, which is really good because, again, Haze is able to, remove buffs, something like Swords Dance, but more importantly, the Dondozo stuff, right? So if you could just bring in your Primarina, click Haze, and then Dondozo can't get its stats back up because normally it wants to click Order Up, but that's a Dragon move, and you can't click a Dragon move into a Fairy type, so that's really good for Primarina in itself, right? So I like this smart team building with Primarina here. Here's the Citrus Berry Terra Grass set. That's very solid, right? Terra Grass, not only to just get around Among Us, but against Grassy Glide, Rillaboom stuff. So that's good. And then at the same time here, look at this Talonflame. Aggressive Life Orb set. Brave Bird, snipe something immediately turn 1 with priority Gale Wings. Then you have your own Tailwind setter, right? Like we said. And then strong aggressive Flare Blitz if you need it. Is also available to Talonflame here. So I like Talonflame on this type of team with Goldengo especially. So smart building from Funny Monkey here. I like it a lot. It's a great starting 6 if you want to use Maushold Annihilape. Very balanced. Then we go here from Mr. Damahi Palmer. And then He has another one of our favorite cores, Garchomp, Talonflame, Goldengo. I like that core a lot. Again, sometimes you might see Hydreigon in this, but, you know, he's very smart here, okay? I like Trick Room Meowscarada. I think that's also one of my old personal favorites back in Regulation A. The fact that you can use this in the Trick Room matchup is very favorable, right? Especially against Side Spam shenanigans. You are a Dark type, so that's going to be really good there. Knockoff, very strong, of course. You're able to remove a Violite, key items, maybe like an Assault Vest, Archeladon. That's also really good. I like this a lot. And now this is the Wide Lens Population Bomb set, so this is good. So it really just depends on how you want to build this, right? Now, if you're not Technician, can you still run Population Bomb? Of course, okay? You can still do really good chip damage with it, okay? Even if you're not one-shotting things immediately, I think it's still fine, okay? We've seen those type of Mausholds in the past, but I like this set with Follow Me, Protect, and then Taunt Population Bomb. I think this is very, very good. Annihilape here, again, this is the leftovers Drain Punch, Rage Fist, Bulk Up set, the very standard set that we saw previously. It's Terra Steel, so that's good. That's good against fairy damage. You're going to need that as well. You know, and then at the same time, if you're ever in doubt of a Blood Moon from an Ursaluna, Terra Steel looks really good just to be able to resist that. So I do like that. Makes a lot of sense at the same time. But again, pros and cons to Terra Steel and Terra Fire. Again, Terra Fire means you can't get burned. And when you're running against other stuff, you know, like Incin or Talonflame running Will-O-Wisp, that's where the Terra Fire is going to be really good for Annihilape. But pros and cons, to each their own, right? But Garchomp here, Earthquake next to Talonflame, very, very good. And how about this with Goldengo, Air Balloon? So this is also really good because, again, what you can do is lead, you know, stuff like Talonflame and Goldengo and or Talonflame, Garchomp here. You can switch out the Talonflame, go into Goldengo, click Earthquake, and you're totally fine because of this Air Balloon item. So this is a cool, creative way of using Goldengo. Otherwise, this is still a standard Make It Rain Shadow Ball set, okay? But I like this a lot. This is pretty good. So good results there. But you can kind of see the core there, right? So just give me a Tailwind Setter plus Goldengo, and then give me some kind of grass type. In this case, it was Rillaboom versus Meowscarada. So we can go ahead and start with that, okay? And, you know, you don't even have to use Talonflame. You can even do Murkrow stuff like we showed you earlier. So, you know, just keep that in mind, you know, when the time comes if you want to build your own. All right, how about this one here? So this one's from Ash63 result, very good. Again, here we go. Pelipper, Goldengo. So no Tailwind on the Pelipper, but that's okay because you have Murkrow here giving you Tailwind. And here's your Haze user to be able to remove buffs. So that's good. This is Terra Water Annihilape. Again, another good defensive Terra for Annihilape. I like this a lot. This is still okay. And here's the Friend Guard. Okay, so this is more of the support. Maushold, Friend Guard, Beat Up, Follow Me. So instead of Technician, Population Bomb, this is still okay. Protect and Taunt. I think Protect, Follow Me, and Taunt are going to be like standard. Okay, and depending on your ability, I think you either go like Beat Up or Population Bar. That being said, Encore is still a very solid move to have on Maushold here, right? Rillaboom, Assault Vest, Grassy Glide. You know, it's very standard Rillaboom set. Here's your Wide Guard user in Pelipper, of course, and here's Goldengo. This time it's a choice spec set. Be super aggressive with Goldengo. Tailwind, Make It Rain, Terra Steel does a ton of damage. And then at the same time, you can wipe away debuffs with Haze, because again, you're getting stat drops when you click Make It Rain, right? But if you just click Haze, all of that gets wiped off. So, you know, again, Murkrow probably going to see more play now, considering the format that we're in, right? So I like those Maushold cores a lot. And then here's one down here, right? 5-2 drop, but still, again, another good, solid Maushold team within the top 12 here. Let's look at this set. So still, again, Goldengo here. This one, this Pelipper has Tailwind. So again, following the familiar core of Maushold Annihilape, Tailwind Setter with Goldengo. There's your core 4. Then we go Palafin here, still very good. And here's the Rillaboom. So this is that Palafin core that we mentioned. Okay, so this is also really good. You can also, again, we mentioned Archeladon. You can definitely go Goldengo here. But I like this a lot. Grass Setter. Again, Rillaboom really good right now, especially against Palafin. Okay, so, you know, you can just always Grassy Glide them or Wood Hammer them, depending on their set. But Palafin Haze, again, really good. Wiping away Dondozo buffs. That's exactly what you want. So here we go. Friend Guard, Beat Up yet again. And this is Super Fang. Good chip damage overall. Put things in range for Jet Punch. I like that a lot. And again, just a lot of these teams right now, these Maushold teams, they're very balanced. They have a lot of familiar cores. It just depends on how you want to utilize them, right? So we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 Maushold cores. Let me go ahead and click Maushold here. Let me see if we can find another one here. 5 Maushold teams we've already looked at, so I think that's cool. Oh, this one we didn't quite peep. How about this one from Penguin, 6-3, right? Our countryman, right, from the Philippines. Someone that we've done video with before back in June. So look at this set. So here we go. Palafin, Arkeladin, Amoonguss. There's that Arkeladin Palafin core that we talked about. And then you just simply slap on a mouse, but there's no Annihilape here. There's actually Indeedee, and you don't necessarily need the Annihilape like you mentioned. So this is Friend Guard Population Bomb. This is the set I was talking about, right? So you can still do Friend Guard and still have Population Bomb, okay? It's not going to do as much damage, but it'll do a lot of damage still, and then you can still put things in range from stuff like, Jet Punch, or put things in range for Arkeladin for that matter. Friend Guard is very good, okay? So sometimes you might have to give up Technician, but that's okay. Friend Guard, really, really good when it comes down to it, right? And yes, that might mean you might miss Population Bomb, but again, instead of safety goggles, you can always put the wide lens, and then your problem is solved in essence, right? And here's the Indeedee for your Trick Room matchup, right? So you have a lot of things going for you. You have Tailwind and Trick Room here, so I like this a lot. This is good building from Penguin. But again, centralizing it on that Palafin core, slap on a Maushold, even though it's not an Annihilape, that's still totally fine here, right? So anyway, now that we've gotten some good data, okay, let's go back here and let's build not one, I'm feeling very generous today, let's give you 2 Maushold Annihilape squads. All right, so let's go back here into the Showdown Team Builder. So let's focus on the Talonflame Goldango core here. So after this, I think I do like that Trick Room Meowscarada stuff. I think that's going to be really good in that type of matchup. So we're going to go ahead and put it on there. And then this last slot here, I like Sylveon. Believe it or not, I do like Sylveon, especially when we have Trick Room and Tailwind available to us. So I think Sylveon looks really good against another Annihilapes in general. And then at the same time, just the fact that we need a strong fairy that's not Flooded Main is giving us the option of using Sylveon here. And I like this core a lot. This is another team that was used back in, it was some regional back in Regulation. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't quite remember. I think it was Tainan Regionals. It's one of those. I think this is the core. But anyway, I like that 6 back then, and I like it now again. So I want to focus on this core here. So from here, what I like to do is just simply build Maushold with that chip damage with Population Bomb and follow me, right? So I like this Population Bomb, okay? And then we'll go the taunt route and then just protect here, okay? Now, again, you have the option with Friend Guard. You can go with Super Fang here. You can do Encore here. You can do Beat Up here. A lot of different ways you can build Maushold. It all depends on you, okay? The way I like to play it, okay, I like the mid-ground play, so I still like chip damage with Population Bomb, okay? You can also go the beat-up route, and that route is also okay. If you want to do that with Annihilape, I'll show you a second version of this, of a Maushold Annihilape team with beat-up, but I do like the chip damage with Population Bomb, okay? You can go Technician here if you like as well, if you really want to, start picking up key KOs, and that's going to be really strong as well, but otherwise, Friend Guard is broken, right? So, best of both worlds. Depending on how you want to play it, go ahead and choose whichever style you like. But for this team, I liked, at the time of testing, I liked Friend Guard with Population Bomb at the same time. All right, so Annihilape here. We're not going to do the Choice Scarf set. I think that's better on those Trick Room teams where you can go Final Gambit, set up Trick Room, and then bring in something that can sweep. I think that's better there. But this time, I do think the leftover set, okay, with, Rage Fist, Drain Punch, Bulk Up, and Protect is ideal. I like this. By the way, Maushold, I think Terraghost is best, so this way you can avoid the body press stuff, the other fighting moves in general. Always going to be good on Terra Normal type Pokemon. Then from here, again, with the Annihilape, I like Terra Fire. Again, Will-O-Wisp Burn, not so great. Fairy type attacks, not so great. I think this is okay. In my opinion, okay? Then from here, Talonflame, again, Gale Wings is really strong. And I like Overcloak, all right? So you don't get faked out, no speed drops, anything like that. Tailwind, Flare Blitz, Brave Bird, and then Will-O-Wisp. Just have your damage mitigation move for you, right? And just having this option for Talonflame just makes a lot of sense in my opinion, right? You can also go Terra Grass here. You can ignore moves, that kind of stuff. You know, all depends on how you want to do it. You can go like one big nuke with Terra Flying and just remove something off the board with Brave Bird. You can definitely go that route. That's totally fine. You know, just depends on how you want to do your Talonflame. But I think this is a very easy set that you can do with it. Goldango here, you can do Choice Specs. You know, we don't really have Haze on this type of 6. So that being said, I do like Life Orb here just so that I can have access to Protect. Okay, and then at the same time, you know, I can always switch out whenever I need to. Make it rain, Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot is good. Here, I like Water. I think Terra Water is also a good Terra. You know, defensive Terra, all things considered. Meowscarada, again, Focus Sash. You know, the same set that Domingo was using. You know, Flower Trick, Knockoff, Trick Room, and Protect, I think is always going to be solid here. You know, Grass for a little bit more extra damage. That's also fine. You know, you can pick whatever Terra you like there. Even Terra Fairy is also really solid. Sylveon here, another one where I do like Terra Fire. So, you know, with Hyper Voice, you can go with the old set with Terra Blast, Terra Fire. Okay, and just blast through some of the steel types like another Goldango, for example, and resist a Goldango for that matter. Quick Attack, you know, snipe some things with a priority move, I think is going to be good. And then over here, I like the Throat Spray set. I don't want too much setup here because we already got a Bulk Up setter. We have a Nasty Plot setter. Let me go aggressive here with the Sylveon with this Throat Spray set. And I think this is also really good. All right, so we've got this 6. So now in terms of VV sets, let's see what we can do. So with Maushold, I think you can just go straight Jolly 252, 252 here. And again, you know, you can make your Mausholds bulky. Okay, and we'll talk about that in another video. You know, just discussing like optimal EV spreads and whatnot. But I think for this, you could definitely go 252 Jolly, 179 here. So again, another one of those speed tiers in Regulation H that you're going to need to consider is outspeeding Maushold. So 180 benchmark is going to be key. So that might mean stuff like base 90, not base 90, stat-wise 90 under Tailwind is what you want to go for if you have some slow stuff, right? So that way you get to outspeed this Maushold here. Okay, then from here, you know, the Annihilate, what I like to do, again, I have leftovers. Let's go to 208. Okay, let's go to 208 HP, optimize the leftovers recovery. 1/16 of your max HP. So again, you're doing a little math. 208 divided by 16. Again, that's going to give you a perfect 13. 13 recovery per turn. Also works out with Rillaboom grassy terrain. So if you're playing against another Rillaboom, you're going to get an optimal 13 recovery per turn. And then what I want to do with this, listen, I'm just going to go a little bit of Adamant, but just 36 investment. I'm going to hit the first bump only, okay? And again, if you are trying to play competitive Pokemon and you need help creating EV spreads and you don't know where to start, make sure you comment in the video below asking what are EV bumps, because they are a fundamental skill to understand in creating EV spreads for competitive Pokemon play. All right, if you don't know what they are, comment what are EV bumps. I will tell you, I will respond to you, okay? Everyone always asks in every video of mine, you know, what are EV bumps? I always reply. So this way, everyone gets to know what they are, because, you know, the more knowledge we share, the better players we can get in the long run, right? So we're going to go to the first bump here. Why? Because, again, we're getting a whole bunch of defense and attack from Bulk Up. So, you know, this is already okay. Okay, we're going to get a little bit more later, you know, when we click Bulk Up. So after that, let's go even number investment here with defense. So let's just go to 102. I think that's okay for now, especially when we have Friend Guard here. So that being considered, I think 44 investment in terms of speed is good. You know, you can go 115. The reason why is I just want to avoid the fast Ursalunas that are under those Tailwind teams. You know, they cap at 114, so 115 is what you want to do. But that being said, I am going to do that with Goldango as well. So, you know, again, let me just show that over here. This is all we really need, 84 investment, but I don't want to speed time my Annihilape. So that being said, I do want to at least have 1 point separation, so this way I know the speed interactions. And then you literally just dump the rest into special defense, right? So we're getting all our defense from Fangard and Bulk Up. Let's be special defensively bulky by just investing more into this. And if you want, you can drop 80 EVs here, go to the next bump, and then go into you know, 116 attack, yeah, or in this case 124, so you don't get an odd number. You could definitely do something like this. This is also fine, just in case if you think you're not doing as much damage. But I like the bulk, okay? I like having Maushold around the field and stay for a little bit more extensive time. So I like this, but if you want more attack, feel free to take some from Spidef and go in here. But this will definitely survive a Blood Moon, Life Orb, Ursaluna. So, you know, I think you only need a certain number of Spadef, you know, with this HP investment. So at the very least, I still added more just in case, right? Sylveon Hyper Voice is also another thing that you have to consider. 252 Throat Spray +1. Sylveon Hyper Voice. That's also something, you know, where you're going to need that special defense investment for. All right. Talonflame here. Again, just go straight, almost 252, 252. So let's go Jolly here. Let's just have 1 point in the bulk all around. You know, we just want this to be like an aggressive Talonflame here. I like having Flare Blitz Brave Bird here. I think this is also really solid, all things considered. Then Goldengo here. Like we mentioned, the same speed tier as Annihilape. Just outspeed those Ursalunas. But 1 point difference. So this way we don't end up being a speed tie. I just like Modest here. Let's go, again, second bump here, which is 132 investment. Then let's optimize for Life Orb. Let's go to 189 here. Again, with Life Orb, you always want to end in a 9. So this way you can optimize the Life Orb chip that you have every turn. So 1/10 of your max HP. If I put this to 190, right? 190 divided by 10, you're taking 19 points of damage per Life Orb chip. You undercut that threshold by 1, 18.9. Rounds down, not up. In Pokemon, everything rounds down. You round down to 180, okay? And then that way you optimize how much HP you have, right? Because if you have 185, that's still 18 damage, right? Because 18.5 still rounds down to 18. So why not push it to 189, the max? So this way you get that optimal Life Orb chip return, right? Again, 179, that's the other benchmark. 169 also, all right? 199, but we can't obviously go to that, right? So we just go to 189 here. Then you just split up the bulk here, you know, just a little bit like this. There's no real damage calc that I have for Goldengo right now. This is just like a starting spread just to test something on ladder and then make adjustments later as you go. But at least this is a good starting point for what we want Goldengo to do. This one, again, Meowscarada, another 252 set. Nothing really special about this. Focus-Sash set and all, that's okay. Sylveon here. I like Modest, of course. And, you know, again, just a little bit of investment. So this, you know, 87. So this way under Tailwind, you know, we get to outspeed some major threats here. You know, 85, or outspeed like most Incineroars that aren't going Jolly. I think this is also okay. You know, just a little bit speed on our Sylveon is okay. Let's go third bump here, 236, right? Here it is. Then I want to go to 172 investment here. 192, again, that optimal Rillaboom grassy terrain recovery is going to be important. And then after that, just 1 point in special defense. We already have a ton already. And let's go defense investment here with 44 points. Again, a lot of this is bulkier than you think, even though we do have a lot of bulk on some of our Mons, just because we have Friend Guard on this Maushold available to us. Again, and if you like this, if you don't like this set, you know, again, you can always just do like safety goggles, and you can do beat up here. You can do Super Fang here, right? If you don't like that route, you can do Follow Me Super Fang Taunt. This might be better later on when I actually make this into a rental. But for now, in terms of what I was testing, I did like the chip damage from Population Bomb, but I still liked Friend Guard, okay? So I'm playing best of both worlds here, right? So let's just go over it. So, you know, let me just make this paste over here just so that we can see it on the screen. So it's a Jolly Maushold with Wide Lens Population Bomb instead of Technician here. That's still fine. It's a bulky Annihilape set, really bulky Annihilape set. Talonflame, Covert Cloak, again, not, you can't get faked out, so this is really good. Goldengo Life Orb, still very aggressive, not necessarily needing to set up. You can just go make it rain immediately, like Talonflame Goldengo leads can also be very, very strong. Meowscarada is pretty good, you know, against Palafin stuff. It's also pretty good against the Trick Room matchup, and Sylveon also is not bad either, you know, against the mirror matchup potentially, or other fighting types that you might see later on, of course. But, you know, I do like the 6. I was a big fan of it back in Reg A, and I think this is okay. All right, this is one version. So let's take a look at some practice games and see how the 6 works. Okay, so people are gonna keep playing weird stuff, you know, in the early goings of the format. And this is one of those weird teams. So this is Ursaluna, this is Palafin. There's a Ninetales here with Executor. So, you know, you can probably consider some, Chlorophyll shenanigans. There's a Dragapult here. Dragapult looking pretty good as a sleeper pick at the moment. Now that there's no Chenpao, but that remains to be seen later on. But either way, I think what we have is really good, especially, you know, all things considered. How does he beat the Maushold? I don't really know. he has the Ursaluna, but we can Drain Punch that. We can Drain Punch a lot of things here. We can Rage Fist a lot of these Psychic types here and Ghost types here. So, he's going to have some trouble here against our Annihilape here. So we go Maushold Annihilape here. He's going to go Dragapult and Palafin. This is totally fine, okay? He's going U-turn. That's okay, too. It looks like it's Life Orb chip as well. There's Corviknight, but again, just to deal immediate damage with Population Bomb into the Palafin, right? So this is good. Now, we could have KO'd this if we had the Technician ability, but again, this is still fine, right? So he's going to go Flip Turn again, and he's going to go into Dragon Ball. That's still okay, right? So I go Bulk Up here with Friend Guard, so that's really good. Even if he Brave Birds me, he's not going to KO me, right? So he goes Terra Flying. He might now, but we'll see. But Dragon Dart's not doing enough damage here. Again, Life Orb and all, still good. I want to taunt just in case he does like Tailwind or Body Press or Iron Defense stuff. So Rage Fist immediately removes it, and that's exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to go for the Iron Defense. Palafin comes in, right? But this is still fine. Again, still okay. I just want to nuke the Corviknight, put it in range for what we have in the back later, okay? But now that the Ghost is gone, now I can Drain Punch whatever I want, okay? And he decides to just switch the Palafin out, and now I get immediate recovery. So I don't know about that play. I feel like he could have just Jet Punched the Maushold and be okay, but he chose not to do that. And in the essence, his Ursaluna's in a bad spot. No Trick Room. And again, we just nuked the Corviknight again. He's just not doing... He didn't do anything with this thing now that we taunted it. And now he's just left with a burned Ursaluna that is already chipped mightily and a Palafin as well. And Palafin's not killing this Annihilape anytime soon, right? So, again, we just nuke it. We're faster. And, there's not really much he could have done. He just lost to the Maushold Annihilape lead. So, again, it's a very strong combination this time around, so take advantage. Let's do another one here. Okay, this is another weird Trick Room team. Okay, so he's got Camerupt and Torkoal and Armarouge. He's got Porygon. Porygon could be good this time around as well, now that there's not as much fighting types. I think people still need to explore more fighting types. I think there's still some available that people aren't considering. But this is where Meowscarada is going to look really good here. Again, because we have Trick Room, Gastrodon doesn't matter. We have a Grass type, and then overall just knocking off Eviolites and key items on Pokemon is going to be really solid. So this is where Meowscarada really looks good. Okay, he's going Conkeldurr P2. That's fine. And I'm going to go Meowscarada Maushold here for taunt and removal. Okay, so I'm going to go Ghost just to not get smacked by Conkeldurr here. I just want to remove that Guts, but it wasn't. It was just leftover, so I don't know about that play. He's going Drain Punch. That's why we Terra Ghosted. And he can't Trick Room with the Porygon. So now he's in a bad spot. He has to go into Torkoal there. He's out of position. No Trick Room is up. Free knockoff into Torkoal. Okay. Population Bomb doing all kinds of chip damage into this Torkoal. This thing is not going to do anything, right? So all this damage. And again, Conkeldurr, without Guts, it's not really that great. Again, another KO we could have also picked up there. There's knockoff. So that's good for him. All right. Removes my Wildlands, but of course that's still fine. But look at this. Now we have Sylveon in a great spot. He goes Terra Fairy Conkeldurr here, but Meowscarada has Flower Trick. Okay, so we just crit right through, okay, and we go Hyper Voice. We have a ton of damage here. Conkeldurr Spidef is not so great. He has no Assault Vest. Now we're +1. We outspeed everything he has now. There's the P2. We can just remove the Eviolite if we want to, okay? He tries Protect. Again, just knocking off that Eviolite is important. Hyper Voice damage, really good. He gets Trick Room up, right? And that's fine, okay? Because we have a Sash on Meowscarada regardless, okay? He goes Eruption. He brings me down to Sash. Sylveon lives because we have great special defense. He goes Recover. That's okay. But look at this damage, right? This is still fine. And we get to flip the Trick Room. There's Meowscarada's value. So now he's just cooked. Okay, he has nowhere else to go. We just Flower Trick the Camerupt, and, that's pretty much it, right? So, again, the ability to flip Trick Room and Taunt is really important. So take advantage, utilizing those two when you're up against some of those Trick Room teams. Okay, let me show you a different variant of a Maushold team that you can utilize as well. So we're going to change the set here. So let's go, we'll still keep Friend Guard, but instead of Population Bomb, let's go Super Fang, okay? And, instead of Taunt, we can also go Beat Up here. So this way we have the option now to beat up with our Annihilape. But again, if you like Taunt, then Taunt is also very, very solid. Goldengo will still keep here. we can even make this a little bit faster. So what I want to do, I could even just drop it like this and just go into 124. This is going to outspeed the Jolly Incineroars, which I think is kind of funny if they're still running that. But, you know, if they're not, then we can make it super bulky. But if they are, then, you know, all this speed investment is going to be good. Let's go with the Palafin core, okay? And then after that, then we can have our grass type as Rillaboom here. So this way we get fake out pressure to be able to also set up stuff like fake out, bulk up stuff. So, and what's really good about this set is now you have leftovers and grassy terrain to keep Annihilape on the field for a little bit more recovery. Okay, and then at the same time, Maushold Palafin is also relatively annoying, right? You get to keep it safe, you know, with Friend Guard and redirection support. So, you know, you got fake out, redirection, and then Pelipper, we're gonna have a Tailwind setter. So that's also something that Goldengo likes as well. You can also go Terra Ghost here. Okay, let's just build a team. So here we go. Focus Sash, Pelipper here. Okay, it's gonna have Hurricane. It's gonna have Weather Ball. It's gonna have Tailwind. Okay, and then you have Protect here. I think it's also pretty solid. Palafin here. I do like Mystic Water. Okay, and then just simply Jet Punch, Wave Crash. Here's the Haze tech for Dondozo stuff, as well as wiping away Incineroar Intimidates. You can do that as well. You can go Terra Water here, Terra Grass, either way. Here's Rillaboom here, you know, with the Assault Vest. Okay, and then of course Fake Out, Wood Hammer, Grassy Glide priority, and that's Grass Knot, but let's put U-Turn first. That's also not U-Turn. There we go. Grassy Glide here. Yeah. So, you know, again, not having Taunt may not be so good in Trick Room games, but you do have Fake Out, you do have 2 priority users, so you can kind of work your way around it. But this is still like okay. And again, if you don't like not having Taunt, you can definitely, you know, get around it. You could just remove Super Fang or Beat Up and then just go with Taunt at the end of the day, right? So follow me, Super Fang. Taunt is still good, right? If you don't like Beat Up, but either way, you know, this is still going to work. And then, you know, you don't need the Wide Lens anymore if you don't go Population Bomb. I feel like you can always do stuff like, well, what's another thing you could do besides Wide Lens? You can even consider Safety Goggles here. That's going to help you get around Amoonguss. So this is also totally fine, right? But from here, again, you know, just with Pelipper, I still like 252 Tailwind, okay? I still think this is okay. So let's do it like that. Palafin, of course, you know, I still like Adamant Nature, 236, and then about this much. Again, you know, super bulky Palafin, but all I really need was about this investment just to outspeed other Pelippers. Okay, I think this is also okay. And then just 1 point there in the Spadef. That's all we really need out of Palafin, you know, and grand things considered, right? And then, you know, at the end of the day, this is going to be 0 to hero. So I still think a little bit of speed is good just to win the mirror matchup. I think that's also fine. Here we go, Rillaboom, Adamant. Okay, I'm just going to go 132 investments. Again, that nice 192 benchmark there. Let's go 196 Wood Hammer play instead of 116. And then a little bit of investment here, just about this much. Get a nice even number for the Assault Vest. And then again, going for that speed tier of 115. You know, again, that's just for the Blood Moon. So this way I can click Wood Hammer instead of Grassy Glide against it, just in case it is max speed. All right. So something like this is pretty good. You know, again, just slapping on an easy 4-man core, you know, with Maushold Annihilape. But Terrify Rillaboom, again, for, you know, against fire attacks, against ice attacks also. Terra Ghost, you know, just so that we don't get faked out, you know, or just super effective electric moves altogether. Goldengo, you know, again, Terra Water, again, very solid. I like that as a Terra option on our Goldengo. But this is another version that you can also consider. Again, you know, your Maushold set is going to vary, but something like this, you know, with Super Fang, you can even do Beat Up here with Super Fang. Either way, I still think it's good depending on what you want to use. But again, Palafin's still very strong, so let's take a look in some test games. Okay, so this is the mirror matchup, right? This is Maushold Annihilape. He's got Talonflame as well. There's Rotom Wash. Okay, Rotom probably comes back a little bit more in the meta now, just because Rotom was good back in Regulation A, and now it looks... you need an electric type sometimes, right? So against a Palafin, looks really good there. But he also's got Talonflame, so Tailwind Center looking pretty good. And he's got his Instant Rillaboom stuff for setting up his Annihilape. But I like our mirror matchup, you know, just because we have Pelipper, okay? And Pelipper looks really good, not only against Annihilape, looks really good into Incin, okay? And that is going to be important, you know, for our Palafin endgame, which I will bring into this matchup. So he's going to go Talonflame, Rotom. That's a lead. I went Pelipper, Palafin here, you know, just to get things going. And I'm very curious as to what he's going to do. So I'm just going to protect Palafin turn 1. I just want to nuke the Talonflame here. You know, we have a Sash, so, you know, the only way he does is if he doubles up. But, you know, the Palafin is just too juicy not to try and hit, right? So Weather Ball goes in, and I did see he clicked Electro Whip. I want to get an Annihilape in on that, so if he does do it again, it's going to look really good if I can get a Defiant Boost. So I'm just going to do a double swap here, you know, with Rillaboom and Annihilape right now. Palafin will be our endgame option, and he goes Fake Out, goes Thunderbolt. He got greedy, so this is basically free Annihilape switch. He still has more Tailwind turns, which is okay, right? Our Annihilape is still bulky, all right? I tried to Fake Out the Rotom here, but he goes Knockoff into Annihilape, which is okay. All right, because now we get still drain, we still get bulk up, and we have recovery with the grassy terrain, right? So I want to protect the Annihilape here. I don't want to just immediately die. You know, there is his last turn of Tailwind. He goes Parting Shot, you know, into Annihilape, which is kind of funny, just in case of maybe covering the switch. But again, I just wanted to remove the Rotom, so this way Palafin looks really good in the end game, and it is. The Instant is stuck. Palafin's gonna win, and all things considered, you know, I don't think Palafin's even going to get a chance. We just do so much damage into Incin. We have a defense boost. He can't really do anything. My Rillaboom is here unintimidated. And that's pretty much it. The Annihilape is not going to do anything for him because it's by himself, and I still have all 4 Pokemon. Okay, so he's gonna. This is a typical Trick Room team. You know, Indeedee, Hatterene, Torkoal, and a Ursaluna, whether it be the physical or the regular one. The other 2 options are a little bit weird. He's got Murkrow, back Scalper. I'm not sure about that, but Pelipper looks pretty good here just to be able to change the weather. And then also Goldengo looks really good here just because I am a Steel type, okay, and I have Make It Rain, okay. So he actually goes Murkrow, back Scalper build instead of the Tailwind stuff. So he's just going to go Tailwind. He just immediately removes my Maushold, right? But that means free Nasty Plot for me, and that means a ton of pressure is coming, and I have Fake Out coming in hot here, okay? So he's going to go into Indeedee. That's a smart play. I like that a lot from him. He catches me, so there goes my Fake Out. He goes Icicle Crash, but my Rillaboom is so good with our EVs, right? We actually just lived that, and we just removed the back Scalper. It doesn't even Terra there, okay? So there's that. Again, Life Orb +1, still going to do a lot. Ursaluna comes in, but that Ursaluna doesn't have that much Spadef either, so I just want to reset terrain. And I'm just going to go Terra Water here. He goes for Earth Power. I knew he would try and get greedy there because, you know, Blood Moon's not going to kill as a Steel type. So, Make It Rain just actually removes everything, right? This is where Goldengo goes crazy against these Trick Room teams, right? So, you know, I felt like he was better, you know, with his Trick Room lead, but he chose to go the offensive right. And there goes Goldengo with Terra Water looking really good against Torkoal and his friends there. All right, one last match here. So he's got the Incin, Palafin, Pelipper, Rillaboom core, along with Grimmsnarl and Goldengo. You know, decent squad. But again, I do like Maushold and Annihilape as a lead here. Again, that's, you know, against the Incineroar stuff. But I'm going to take it to another level here. So instead of doing that, so Grimmsnarl, I expect in lead, Goldengo as well. But look at this, Annihilape and Palafin. This is what I want to do. I want to keep the Palafin for the endgame. So I'm going to go Terrifier Annihilape for the fairy stuff, the steel stuff, okay? He goes Reflect, Nasty Plot Goldengo, that's scary, okay? But I'm gonna go Bulk up here. I could have easily Rage Fisted his Goldengo there. But he knows that I can't kill with Reflect up, so good idea from him. All right, he goes Shadow Ball, okay? I resist that, that's fine. Not resist, but it's neutral, and I go Rage Fist into his Goldengo here. Now I've got the Maushold with Friend Guard on the board, okay? I'm gonna go Follow Me. All right, even if he removes the Maushold now, which he doesn't, he should have went for Make It Rain. I want to get a little bit of health back. All right, I could have even went for the Goldengo that turn, but this is okay for me. But now I've got Friend Guard on the board. I've got a little bit more recovery. All right, he goes into Rillaboom. That's fine. I think that's a mistake, but you know, I understand the play. Maybe he wants to keep the Grimmsnarl. I'm gonna protect here. He goes Make It Rain now. Okay, he should have did that last turn in my opinion. But now we just remove the Goldengo. And now we're just kind of chilling here because now the Annihilape is sitting in front of a Rillaboom, okay? And now he's got Grimmsnarl in the back, and that's a loss of momentum, right? And God knows what he's got. Might be Incineroar. He can't bring that. So it's just another bulk up. He didn't even go for Fake Out. I want to keep the Maushold on the field. He's got high horsepower, decent tech, but Spirit Break is wrong there. He gets the drop, and now I'm +3. All right, so now I can start clicking, you know, Drain Punches into the Rillaboom and start living here. So I'm going to go Follow Me again, you know, again, just to keep protecting the Annihilape. He taunts, that's fine. I'm faster than Rillaboom, but that's good. So more Drain Punch, and now he goes High Horsepower into Maushold, and, you know, Maushold stays on the field for another turn, right? So now, reading that, I also just want to go into Pelipper here, just in case of the High Horsepower play, if he does decide to do it. But again, I'm faster. I just removed the Rillaboom. And Maushold still is in the back, okay? My Annihilape is +3 with 2 defense as well. So, and, you know, he just forfeits. That means he had Incineroar in the back, and he's not beating that if he had that in the back, right? So, you know, Maushold, really good. But it's also good in the back. So what you can even do is just switch into Maushold, get that Friend Guard that turn, and potentially keep your Annihilape or Palafin alive, you know, extensively. All right, so again, we've got both teams over here. So here's the one with Talonflame, Goldengo, Meowscarada, Trick Room, and Sylveon here. I think this is pretty solid. And then here's the Goldengo variant with Palafin, Pelipper core. I think this is also really good. This is Super Fang Maushold. This one is the Population Maushold. I feel like either way, the way you want to look at it, depending on the set you want to do, you might even consider Beat Up. I think Beat Up is really good with Annihilape. You could even go that direction if you so choose. But I leave it up to you guys depending on how you want to play your Maushold. But I do like the 6 on both squads. Just depends on how you want to play it. Palafin Haze is really good. And then at the same time, Trick Room on Meowscarada is also very, very solid. All right, so that's going to do it for now, folks. Let me know what you think of Maushold Annihilape in the Regulation H format. And again, if you're trying to team build for Regulation H and you need a little bit of help, you know, putting a squad together, doing EV spreads, that's what we're here for. Make sure you sign up for coaching on the channel. If you look in the video description below, there is a link that you can join with that sub. And then at the same time, in the pinned comment section, there is a link, the same link that you can join with that tier 3 sub. And then from there, you can message me on Discord. We plan a time to meet. Then we get our team building session going, and we construct the squad the way you want it done. So, all right, so take a look at the perks, but tier 3 is your best option for a squad that you want to use for Regulation H. All right, but that's going to do it for now, folks. We'll be back with another video in the next one. Peace out, and have a good one.